And there we go. What's going on, big dog? How you feeling?
I feel good, man. I feel good.
You got a slight delay or something?
No. I was making sure that everything was synced up and improving the posts and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So before we podcast next week, we got a little technical difficulties we gotta get out because I think the we gotta reconnect to the Play More Sports.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but we good for the night though.
Okay. So we good on Mall Sports right now.
Yeah, we good on Mars Sports. We good on YouTube.
Okay.
So we live now. Welcome everybody. For those who's watching, you probably gonna watch it later. We got the old folks game. The Steelers and the Bengals playing tonight with two of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, 40 and 41. You know what I'm saying? But enough about that. We got some big time shit that's happening this weekend. Turf Wars, ESPN Richmond. I almost said Maryland, but we definitely in Richmond this weekend. We got Legacy Sports Men's 8 on 8 on Sunday in Richmond. So I'm kind of excited to get this on out the way. And we apologize for this last minute podcast. We didn't put out any literature about it earlier. It was something that we kind of did last minute. It was kind of dependent on what time my man, what I'm saying, got to Richmond, if he was going to have time to do it or not. But you see how I put it on you and shit.
Pause, man.
Yeah, god damn, this boy don't stop, man. But anywho, we here. Got some very important information we want to put out, man, to make sure everybody is good to go before they start traveling to Richmond tomorrow. And some of those who are traveling now, safe travels for everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like the way you shifted all that blame on me.
I did. I did. I
That's
learned from I learned from the best.
that's crazy, man. That you do that, but it's good to be good. Good, regardless of how much we promote it, um, and how much we pushing it out there. It's always good to just get on the podcast and have a conversation.
But that's a fact.
Just be able to
That's a fact,
connect.
man. Because I don't get to have conversations with you that much anymore because you made yourself unavailable. You know what I'm saying? My access is limited. So, whenever I can get a chance to talk to you, it's always good to me. But, it is what it is.
Nah, man. You know what, man? My access isn't limited, man. It's been the same as it's always been.
Okay.
My access the same as it's always been. So it's not limited. It's those who need to get in touch with me know exactly how to get in touch with me. So
Roger that.
yeah, my access is,
Roger that.
yeah, but yeah, no, we got a good weekend coming up, man. We met as a team yesterday. And, one of the things that we talked about, man, is we haven't even really promoted this event like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't promoted this tournament like that. We haven't promoted the fact that it's going to be streaming on ESPN, the final ESPN event of the year for us. And man, we really normalize this shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we really normalize this. Like this shit is really normal now for us. Um, and so thinking that we as a team, we just all kind of put our heads together last night, and we just came up with some creative ways where we think that we could really kind of just build that excitement again to get people really excited about just checking out the sport that we all love, um, on the biggest sports platform in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
In the world, Craig.
yeah, in the world. And so there's gonna be some things that's gonna be coming out within the next few hours. Just how we intend to really build that engagement and generate more of that excitement, and really, just kind of, close this final ESPN Turf Wars event out of the year with a bang.
So what you most excited about?
Um, well, I'm most excited about getting the opportunity to just host in Richmond again. To be honest with you, Richmond is a destination that holds a special place in our heart because it's the first destination that Turf Wars was hosted in outside of Charlotte.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people understand, or what they realize is we were our first 2 years we were Charlotte and Charlotte only. That was our one event of the year, And when we decided that we was going to take that leap of faith and expand out into other markets, it was Richmond that was that first destination that we hosted in outside of Charlotte. And I remember, 2021 when we did that, that was the event where you lost that sponsor, unfortunately. But I remember that first year that we did that, we had 40 something teams, all my relatives and family members was there. It was a big deal. We had ESPN radio there at the time,
Right.
you know, um, and so that was really a big deal for us. And it was just kind of like a huge stepping stone. So to see us come around full circle and, we're returning back to the city, pretty consistent in terms of the number of teams that's coming out to compete. And this time we're saying, hey, we're not going to bring ESPN radio, but we're actually going to bring ESPN. It's just an exciting feeling. So I'm just looking, most forward to that. Same facility, same business partners that we work with in the city. A lot of the same sponsors, T-Mobile, Red Bull is going to be there this time around. It's for me. I'm just excited to just kind of see all of this come to fruition.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be some highly high paced games, some great competition, some good action.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I can't wait.
yeah. It's gonna be high octane. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be fun. I'm also looking forward to the commentary. We got a new play-by-play caller that's gonna be working alongside you. Um, my guy Jesse out of Phoenix. We had
Out
the
of
opportunity to
Phoenix.
meet with. Yeah, we had the opportunity to meet with him. Um, um, the other day we had that call GP, and I'm sure you could tell that he has that energy. That young man's energy.
Right, right,
And
right, right.
that's I think that's exactly what this broadcast is gonna. I think this is gonna be an amazing broadcast. We love Kevin, love everything that Kevin brings, but I think with Kevin now, I think Kevin is low key an experienced, analyst now. So I think that with Jesse is going to bring just kind of like some intriguing questions and thoughts behind the game from an inexperienced kickball player,
Yeah,
or
aspect. Yeah.
from an inexperienced kickball aspect. So that's I think that's gonna be dope as well too.
Yeah, I did have another question for you, but
What's up?
damn, I just lost my train of thought that fast. Anywho,
I'll be
I'm
rambling.
excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't
But
wait.
this is the first. This the first time that we've connected and that we've met since Kannapolis. We haven't met um since Kannapolis, and so there's that. You know, um, but I think we definitely could talk about that a little bit too. Kind of recap that and highlight what that event was.
Yeah, so I did find out word through the grapevine that all monies has been paid out.
Mm. Mm-hmm. False. False.
Okay.
Yeah, we got one more team, and we talked
Okay.
to the team last night. So I told them when I get to Richmond, I'll send it. My plan was to send it to them today, and I was like, "Nah, that ain't gonna happen." So we'll probably send it to them in the morning. But one thing
But
I will
but
say,
but but up to date though, from what you were saying, 45,000 out of the 50,000 has been paid out.
yeah, paid. Yep, 45,000 out of 50,000, and the other, you know, the 5,000 is there. You know, that money there. I one of the things that I did do was I really underestimated just kind of like the time frame, like how much time it's gonna actually take to wire um, that money to various bank accounts.
Right.
It's one thing if you wire that transaction to all that amount of money to one person, but um, it's been a process with the bank just going in and they're like, okay, well, you know, hold on, real quick. Do you know who you're sending this to? Do they, this is not fraud, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But then also just
definitely got to work out that fraud element.
yeah, but
'Cause
also
that's a
just
lot.
making
That's a
sure.
lot of money.
Yeah, it is, but also too, just making sure that we triple check and cross our T's and dot our I's. And what that consisted of is I refused to send any money to anyone until I contacted the recipient that was receiving the money and verified their routing number and their checking account number. We had them provide that information to us in Kannapolis, but I still refused to send that money to anybody until I spoke to them on the phone
Right.
and said, okay, I want to go over this because a few weeks prior, I actually Zelled some money to the wrong person. Someone gave me a phone number that they wanted me to Zelle, and I sent the money, and then they came back and it was like, oops, my bad, I mixed up the digits. you know, and so that kind of already had me like low key on edge. But then also it was just kind of like, all right, I would rather take my time and send this, knowing that it gets to them, than
To the right
to
person.
than to rush it and send it and it goes to the wrong person. And I'm gonna tell you what, that first day, I wired out 25,000 to two different accounts. The first account that we verified, the account number was wrong, and the second account that we wired it to, the bank forgot to include a digit on the router number.
Shit.
So just yeah, just and but like and they it wouldn't be their fault because I got to sign off on it saying yeah, I verified it and checked it before I sent it. So that's what I meant just by like taking your time, verifying, and sending it to the right people. And if we didn't do that, you'd have a couple thousand out there just lingering in la la land. Um, you know, so but we were able to pull off the unthinkable, and execute that tournament. Um, and you know, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I don't know if there's been a tournament that has paid out that type of purse before. Um, and definitely ain't paid out that purse with 14 teams, 15 teams.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if we didn't if we didn't make history on one side, we made history on the other.
Oh, that, that
Um,
that's that, that's what it was. Are you putting out some information on how to view the games on Saturday on ESPN 3?
Yeah, we've been sending out via email. We've been pushing
Okay.
that information out via email. I think the Richmond team, they posted it on their social media channels. But we'll post it on social media too. We'll put it in the group chats and we'll keep blasting emails to people on how to watch. There's also going to be an email that goes out in real time to every player's inbox, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before the game starts, with instructions on how to watch it. So, we schedule out an email to go out to everybody. So even if you forget, you're gonna get a reminder like 5 minutes before we start streaming saying, hey, don't forget, check us out. Here's how you can stream us. Here's how you can watch us.
Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Communication is key.
So
Make sure you send out the right communication.
they're always rather over communicate than under communicate. You know the
That's a
deal.
fact.
Yeah,
That is a
yeah.
fact.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's gonna be a fun event, man. We got 20 teams that's gonna be, in action on Saturday. And then we got another, between men's and women's. I think we have another 12 in total, I believe, or a little bit over that. So,
Yep.
um, you know, another 30 plus team tournament. That we could check off the checkbox, and it's just a beautiful thing to see, man. I was talking to Kenny yesterday. We was having a conversation, and me, him, and Tay, and we was just kind of talking. I was like, man, after Austin, Austin is our last event of the year. After Austin, that's gonna be 11 tournaments that we did this year, GP.
Yeah.
11, if you count the 9 that we put on our national calendar, plus the Corey LaJoy, plus the Greenville tournament that we supported Bobby with. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. That's a lot of events, and so for us to and I could say 11 comfortably, because right now, if everything was to stop today, we got enough teams in Austin to say, well, shit, we're just a handful of teams away from another 30 team tournament,
Right.
right? And so, for us, for me, that's a big milestone, because this year was all about scaling up. And it was scary because we were adding more to the plate. We're still a small mom and pop shop. We're not this big machine. We're, granted, what people may think from the outside looking, it's still a mom and pop shop. Um, and so to be able to execute that many tournaments, in various pockets of the country, whether it be Vegas, Gatlinburg, Auburn, will be Texas, DC, or Maryland, Florida, twice. Four of them were on ESPN. That's a
Right.
lot, man. That's a
Yeah, that's a
lot.
lot.
It's a lot. So,
That's a lot of logistics, a lot of planning,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
a lot of behind the scenes work.
Yeah, and to be able to do all of those, and to be able to do all of those, and still be sitting here talking about it, man. I mean, it's just a beautiful feeling,
Sky's the limit. But we've been saying that from the jump, though. You know.
man. Yeah, sky's the limit, man.
Let me see. Okay. All right. So tomorrow we starting off is the Kings of Men.
Yeah,
Is that
Kings Dominion.
tomorrow,
So
or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
are they able to use it whenever?
yeah. So Kings Dominion. So every registered player that registered for the tournament, they get complimentary tickets to Kings Dominion. These tickets are tickets that could be used this weekend, and in the past and traditionally, it's been tickets that you can use for up to a year. Kings Dominion was recently purchased by Six Flags, so I'm not sure what fine print or what parameters they have around the tickets, but I have every reason to believe that it's still the same in terms of how long those tickets are valid. Um, we pushed out an email to the Kings Dominion team at the top of the week once registration closed with all of the list of players that should receive the email. Then we communicated with them this morning and we advised, we said, hey, we have some more emails and some more names that we want to send to you all. And we did that earlier this morning. We sent another list to them. Um, we were advised that they will send that out to all of the players. My understanding was that it was going to be done today. If it's not done today, then I have every reason to believe that it'll be done in the morning.
Okay.
Um, I have every reason to believe that it'll be done in the morning. Last year, we promoted what was called the Skip Day, where we encourage the players to meet us at Kings Dominion, go out there, utilize those tickets while you're in town, have a good time. And it was a dope event. It was fun. And so we're doing that again this year. But this year is going to be a little less informal, go at your leisure, you know, um, when those tickets come to your inbox, hey, go at your leisure, have a good time, take full advantage of those tickets. Personally, me and my family, I'm obligated to some other things over the course of the weekend that I want to make sure that I could fully see through, and just making sure that I'm able to kind of um, be where I'm supposed to, but those tickets should be coming in the morning. And we'll be on top of making sure we blast the communication as soon as we get the green light.
All right. That's a bet. That's
Right?
a bet. So if
Yeah.
y'all out there listening, if you ain't got it yet, by all means, check your emails tomorrow. They should be getting it tomorrow if you haven't already received them.
Yeah. And then also too, I think that one of the dope things is that about us is that we've been hosting our tournaments in Richmond now. I think this is number 4 for us,
Right.
right? And we do Kings Dominion every year. Every single time you register for Turf Wars Richmond, you get tickets to Kings Dominion. So if for some reason there's a delay with the tickets, y'all understand that this is not something that's common. It's just you know, it just may be, a slight delay, but we'll make sure that those tickets get out. And if you don't get to use them this weekend, which I doubt, but if you don't get to use them this weekend, I think the tickets are valid for October,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So
So there's
let's
that.
go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about you spoke previously on how many teams was on Saturday, how many teams on Sunday. You
Right.
put out something, I believe yesterday, or was it earlier today? It might have been yesterday. So what's the rundown for Richmond this weekend?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm gonna pull that up too, man. Pull that up. Hold on. And we also went back and we did the rankings and stuff again too, man. We just having a ball with it, man. Just loving what the fuck going on right now. You know what I'm saying? You can hear me?
Yeah, you good?
All right. Okay, so the official rundown is on Friday. Tomorrow we're doing the official skip day at King's Dominion. That's going to be at their theme park. We put the times from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, this is at your leisure. If you can't get there until 3 p.m., hey, by all means, utilize that ticket and go at 3 p.m. If you want to get there at 9 a.m. or whenever they open, by all means. But our goal is to have those tickets in your inbox in time for you to enjoy the theme park while you're here. Um, Later on in the evening, we're hosting our official meet and greet at a kitchen and social sports bar called District 804. Now, District 804 is a pretty unique and special establishment, mainly for the fact that this establishment is owned by one of the former kickball players in our community. You know, this is a gentleman, him and his wife. They, are from the DMV area. Used to support our brand. Used to, always come out to a lot of the tournaments and things like that. And now they've retired from the game, but they're still doing amazing things. And they've managed to open up their own sports bar. And so now, we're wanting to return that favor and show them some support. So we'll be hosting our meet and greet. Not only will we be hosting our meet and greet there on Friday, but we're going to double back and spin the block, and we're going to go back there on Saturday and do our ring ceremony there. And they'll also be streaming the games in the establishment as well. And we might just replay the games while we're in there too. So we just want to make sure that we're doing the things that we can on our end to make sure that we're showing that same support that they showed us. So that's going to be a District 804. Um, Co-ed competition starts on Saturday, 8 a.m. You have your advanced and your intermediate teams playing. ESPN is going to be streaming from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. On ESPN 3. We'll make sure that we drop those instructions on how you can check that out. And at some point throughout the day, we're going to do the home run derby. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to. So let me ask you what you think, GP. Should we showcase the a portion of the home run derby on ESPN like during like intermission and stuff as teams are kind of like getting prepped and stuff like that? What you think?
I think that'll be dope. It brings
Think
the other
so?
aspects to the game. Absolutely. And
Mm,
as long as we have time to do it, I
yeah,
think we should go for it.
I think so. Like just like kind of like an intermission as teams are like gearing up and preparing to take the field. We have a few people try their luck and try to see if they could do it.
And what's the parameters for that? How many tries do they get?
Traditionally, we give them 3 attempts.
Three. God damn.
3 attempts. Yeah,
Okay.
straight roll. You get 3 attempts. And it seemed to work for us. It's not. It's like it's not anything that drags. It takes a long time. They seem to you know 3 attempts it seems to do the trick. And yeah, so we I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna showcase a little bit of that on the network.
And
I
how,
think
how
we're gonna
many people?
showcase a little bit of that.
How many players are you allowed? Are you allowing to do so? And is there they could just sign up, or is there they have to pay to enter, or how does that go?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a fan zone. We have a Turf Force fan zone. It's on our website. We could drop the link where they could go on the Turf Force fan zone. They could sign up. They could pay there. It's normally $5 for your 3 kicks. You pay $5. You get 3 kicks, and then the winner, they'll walk away with a prize, whether it's a $50 gift card to Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. We'll have some prizes and some good giveaways or some things like that we're gonna give. But if we're gonna put a little bit of this on ESPN, which I'm just kind of like thinking through right now, we may up that price, man. It ain't $5 no more, man. It ain't $5 no more.
another way to be featured on a national
Yeah, it
televised
ain't
network.
five. It
Yeah,
ain't $5. It ain't $5 no more, man. It's gonna
yeah.
be a little bit more than five. But but we gonna look at doing that though. But that's gonna be the rundown, and then obviously after all the action takes place on the field, we're gonna carry the action over, like I said, to District 804 off the field for the post tournament celebration. That's where we provide the championship teams with their rings. We provide them with their championship shirts. We'll announce the cash prize amount tomorrow. I feel like I ain't been doing shit these last 2 weeks, but paying y'all motherfuckers. So, you know, there's that. You know, um, and then we can get straight into it on Sunday with the women's competition and the men's competition, where they'll be occupying the field at the same time, but just in different spaces. And so yeah, it's gonna be a dope ass fucking weekend, man. And I've kind of got out of the business of being Don King on social media and really overhyping and promoting the shit and just letting the brand and the product speak for itself, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. As long as the brand can speak for itself, then we good.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. Unfortunately, you seem to do this to me all the time. When it's gonna be a dope event, you tend to send me the fuck away. But I'm
Okay,
definitely
okay, real
excited to
quick,
go back to Kansas City.
real quick. Did I do that?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Is this not a Turf Wars event?
It is, man, but
Okay, so
I
at the
didn't
end
do
of
it.
the day, at the end of the day, I gotta hold somebody responsible. It's like, no,
I
I'm
didn't
good.
do it. Yeah, I ain't do that, man. Production did that, man.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Production did that, but man,
At,
but
at least,
nonetheless,
at
though, man.
least, at least this go around, I know the lay of the land, so I know what places I'm gonna hit. As far as the barbecue and a couple of places I didn't get a chance to go to last time. I'm gonna check out this time. So I got my little itinerary already set, so I'm good.
Yeah, production did that to you, man. Production did that, man. But
Okay, all right. I mean,
but, none,
potato, potato.
mm, but nonetheless, though, right? Nonetheless, ultimate team player. Ultimate team player. You make the ultimate sacrifice, to make sure that you're looking out for the better of the team. You know, I know you're a married man now, but I'm sure you remember those days as a single man, long before you was engaged or you were married. Sometimes you just had to take one for the team.
Gotta take one for the team,
You
man.
gotta take one. You gotta take one
I,
for the
I
team.
was I was I was labeled wingman of the year
Yeah, man. Like
in
you know,
2010. You know,
look, you
I had to
know,
make sure the dates add up right there. 2010.
look. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest, man. I was wingman plenty of days in my time, man. You know, um, and just had to do what I had to do to make sure that everybody's seeing it through the night. So you know, that's all.
I ain't mad at it.
I
I
ain't
ain't
mad
mad
at
at
it,
it.
man.
Like I said, I got my itinerary set. I got some places I want to check out, and so this time I'm actually getting there a little earlier tomorrow. I actually fly out tomorrow at 1. I should get there like about 2:45. I think it is. So I got the whole afternoon to check out some stuff. Before I head into the office Saturday morning.
Okay, yeah, man. It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be a fun event. Um, I love the fact that I know that you're gonna be in Kansas City, but you already know we're gonna do everything we can as a team and as a group to make sure that Sunday you don't miss a beat. Like nothing skips a step on Sunday. And so we'll be there to make sure that we take care of all of that.
I mean, I appreciate it, but at the same time, man, I don't do this alone. I mean, the person that actually does the work is going to be there. Tasha's going to be there on Sunday. The rest of the staff is going to be there on Sunday as well. So, they're more than capable of carrying out, what I'm saying, and do what needs to be done. But I appreciate knowing to have you, what I'm saying, in the background to help out and step in if need be.
Just a lifeline, man. Just a lifeline. That's all. Just in case
Definitely.
y'all need an extra hand, you need somebody to pick up some equipment or drop it off or take something from A to B. Just know that you got an extra hand. Y'all got the extra support if you need it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to thank Bryce because I know it's going to be him. I know you're going to send him, the hardest working man of Turf Wars.
Yeah, man, Bryce getting on my nerves, man. That boy been
Bryce
on his head the
Herbert, the
whole
hardest
weekend.
working man, the hardest working Herbert. I know that.
Shit,
Rory,
yeah,
you get
right.
what you get, but I know Bryce gonna make sure it happens.
Yeah, but what you don't know is my middle name Bryce. So you right, you right. That's my
Oh
middle name
shit.
Bryce. So yeah, so you right. You ain't told a lie yet. Um, no, but broadcast is gonna be dope. The weather's gonna be perfect. Um,
It's
and
actually
that's
I
it.
checked it out, man. It's gonna be actually perfect kickball weather.
It's gonna
You
be
know what I'm saying?
beautiful
Well,
weather, man.
I didn't want to bring it up because anything can happen, but as of right now, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna be straight.
Pause, man. Pause, man.
Man, get out of here, man.
Pause, man.
Get out of here.
You know. And so yeah, like it's, I mean, I just think that I think that this is gonna be a really good weekend. Um, I love the number of teams that we have. I think sometimes, and this is another thing that we talked about yesterday. Is like, we've been around to the point where we've had 60, 70 tournament, team tournaments, and then we've done some 30, 40 team tournaments and things like that. And for me, man, I take joy and just pleasure in some of the smaller tournaments, man, to be honest with you, man, because it just seems like sometimes, a lot of times, it's less of a headache. It's less people to deal with, less people to manage, less chaos. Like we did Charlotte. Charlotte was our biggest tournament of the year. We had over 50 teams, and as smooth as things was running, at times it just seems as though, or it seemed as though things got a bit chaotic. And for us, it's just kind of like when we always have just a smaller group, it just seems to be more manageable. The events run smoother, and that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Well, a lot of times they say less is more, and in
Less
this
is more,
case,
man.
in this
Less is
case,
more.
if you happen to have, what I'm saying, less teams, you could probably concentrate on giving them a better experience too. So
Yeah. And it's just less personalities to deal with, just less, a lot of that, But I think, one thing that I think is important to mention too is about a week or so ago we announced a huge update in our rule book. We're now instituting the video challenge,
right,
you know. And I think, so we piloted the video challenge in Kannapolis, right? We did that because while while Kannapolis was a tournament where we knew that we were paying out a lot of money, right? And when you're paying out that type of cash prize, everything is critical. Every call is critical. Every play is critical. Every decision that you as a player or team captain you make is critical, because that could be the difference in you walking away with 10,000, 15,000, you name it. And so for us, knowing that we had not as many teams as we envisioned, clearly that impacted our budget, and it impacted our budget impacted us being able to place the number of referees that we wanted on the field to ensure that these critical plays were being overseen.
right,
And so our substitute and our makeup for that was like, okay, well, what can we still do to have an extra set of eyes on the field to make it as fair of a game as possible? And then that's when the decision to say, all right, let's extend video replay into pool play and single limbs aside from championship. We said, hey, we want to give them two, right? If we're only gonna have one ref on the field, let that camera be that other set of eyes where the camera don't lie. The camera don't their eyes don't play tricks on them, right? And like so, we did it. I think teams in the beginning they got very challenge happy. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that they even thought was questionable, oh, let's challenge it. Let's challenge it. But in the grand scheme of things, instituting that was one of the best things that could have happened, because it left no doubt on the table in terms of who was right, who was wrong.
right.
And so when you take that into consideration, in addition to the fact that, like, I mean, the accuracy, it's a no-brainer. And so it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we definitely gotta bring that to the table. You know what I'm saying? And
And how many challenges do they get? Is it
so
on?
yeah, so for Richmond, you get one. If that's successful, you get another.
Okay.
Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? You get one. If that's successful, you get another. And um so hopefully this is the beginning to kind of like, you know, ensuring that some of these games are called a little bit more consistent.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And so that'll be in effect for this weekend. That'll be in effect for this weekend.
All right, all right. Again, it sounds like it's going to be an action-packed weekend. You done gave the rundown. You gave everybody what to expect for the Kings of Men tickets.
Hmm.
Um, what's next?
Um, Next after that is Austin, man. Austin is going to be next. We have that's a month away. So really, as soon as we wrap up with this, it's all eyes on Austin. Our final event of the year, the last war, our first event in Texas, our last event of the year. Um, and so obviously we want to close out the season with the bigger impact as possible. And for us, this is just it's gonna be like just kind of a mic drop for us. That's what Austin is. It's gonna be a mic drop. It's like Mamba out. Like um, in terms of 2025 at least.
Right,
Man, everything that we did this year, man. Like and there's like this thing where it's like a lot of times when you just highlight your accomplishment, sometimes people could view it as bragging or just things like that, man. But like, man, I'm fucking proud of the team, man. You know what I'm saying? And proud of what we were able to accomplish. So I mean, there's certain things you just can't hold, um, not speak about. And
right,
I think what we did this year, it has to be spoken about, man. It has to be. Because the shit ain't never been done before. You talk about 11 fucking tournaments, man.
yeah.
11.
That's what's up.
And we ain't canceled one, GP.
Yeah, that's what's up. I
And,
mean, that's a feat
you know what
within
I'm saying?
itself,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
with all of the obstacles and hiccups that organizations had to endure within this year, especially with the
yeah.
new administration change and all the things that's going on. Like, there's a big thing now, like up here, that's affecting a lot of players. The government shutdown. A lot of people that work that are furloughed, and it's making it more difficult for them to be able to come out and play kickball and do these type of things. So, you know, um, we just want to give a shout out to those who are still making ends meet and still having the opportunity to come out and still and try to play some kickball. But this is something that is affecting a lot of us, the players and the organizations as well. So,
Hmm.
I just want you to know, like everybody, a lot of people, if you're not directly affected, you're indirectly affected. You want to know somebody or a family member or something.
You're
So
affected, man. Yeah, I mean, you're affected, and like, a lot of people may look at me like, hey, how is your business? How is your brand affected by what things that are happening in society or things that may be happening? But you know, so I think to your point, like like we had to face it at the top of the year with tariffs. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And a part of our business, a part of the revenue that we generate, or a revenue generator for us, is merchandise,
right,
kickballs. You
uh-huh,
know what I'm saying? But these kickballs that we purchase, these aren't domestic orders. These are coming, from overseas. And now when you talk about, the tariffs that's been added to, or whatever, now you talk about the inflation and the price of the price of our kickballs doubling, right? And so now, like, we have a revenue generator that was something that we used to, look forward to, that we have to pump the brakes on, because it's like, all right, well, look, you know, we don't want to hand we don't want our consumer to absorb that cost. You go from paying $15 for a kickball to $30 for a kickball. You see what I'm saying? So, it's things like that. And then as you talk about government shutdowns and different things like this, right? We run a national kickball organization. Majority of our consumers have to travel
right,
to come and compete in our event. And if you're talking about, airports, this or this, that, and the third, this, that significantly impacts what we do.
uh-huh,
If people are losing their jobs, how you can take a vacation to go to Gatlinburg or to this, to this, to this, the money that I was going to spend on a rental, the money that I was going to spend on a flight, I need to hold that money to spend it on a light bill. I need to hold that money to buy groceries.
yep,
You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of that stuff. And so all things considered and factoring all those things in, and somehow, some way, as a brand still being able to withstand that, that's God, man. And so that's why I'm so big on just being very thankful for what we've been able to accomplish, and and speaking about it because it's something that I'm very very proud of, man. That we were able to do. I'm very proud of it, man. And thank you to the players and those teams that trust and believe enough in our brand because we don't know. I don't know what any of these players' bank accounts look like, right? I don't know what their bank account look like. So I don't know if they took their last out to register or to buy a flight or to get daycare services or they didn't even they ran out of PTO, so they took unpaid leave. I don't know what you did to come to this tournament, but the fact that you were there and the sacrifice you made, man, we're forever grateful and thankful for that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Always.
yeah, man, yeah. What we did this
Always.
year, I think it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing.
So with that being said, you know, the following weekend, call the Elite down in Atlanta.
Hmm.
We have a tournament coming up, 40 and over, 40 and under. The numbers looking great. The registration is still open, so those people who still want to get those last minute add-ons to your team, the time is now. Schedules are going to be done. They're going to be going out. The next week is going to be a real busy week, man, for us. It's going to be a short week. It's going to be 0 dark 30. It's going to be a lot of information that we're going to be putting out as well. So, once we get through this weekend, we're going to be gearing up, going 100 miles an hour, getting ready for our legacy tournament in Atlanta.
Hmm.
40 and over, 40 and under, women and men are going to be playing on Saturday. Co-ed is going to be on Sunday. We got some information that's going out. A flyer should be coming out. I'll announce it now, but the official Legacy Sports meet and greet is going to be at the spot in Decatur. From my understanding, it's a great sports bar, and a lot of the Atlanta local of the kickball community already, frequent that particular place, and they gave nothing but high high ratings for it. So I can't wait to go down there to see and check it out and see how that is for sure. But I also want to extend and give our thanks out to all the people that's down in Atlanta that we've been talking to, that I've been talking to, that Tasha's been talking to help coordinate these different events to make sure it's a success. And I can't wait to get back to ATL, man.
Hey, man, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Why you and Tasha didn't just call me?
Oh, they said your visa ran out. They said down in Atlanta you ain't update your visa, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go reapply.
Y'all could have just called me. You and Tasha, out of all people, y'all know I used to live in Atlanta, and you
Man,
know what you
man,
you know what they called me when I lived out there.
that shit doesn't change from the 15 years you've been there.
No, man, I used to live. They used to call me Mr. ATL. That was my name when I lived out there.
Yeah,
You
but
know
they said you're not qualified no more because you ain't
why?
lived there in over 15, 20 years.
Nah, man, I know Atlanta like the back of my hand, man. They used to call me Mr. Peachtree Street, man.
Okay,
Out
that's what
there,
they say.
man.
That's what they say.
I used to make things shake and move out there in Atlanta, man. You and Tasha could have easily called me one snap of the finger and it would have been done,
All right,
Come
we
on,
go.
man.
Well, we got you next time.
All right.
But
Mm.
for this particular time, we already got the events lined up, uh, and it's at Franklin. Franklin was a Gateway Franklin or
Franklin
Franklin
Gateway.
Gateway.
Franklin
Franklin
Gateway.
Gateway in Marietta. So
Yeah.
those who know.
Let me ask you something about this meet and greet spot. Is it anything like stats?
I don't know because I haven't been. I'm going off of the word of my what I'm saying, my ATL community down there. That's right now, and from what I've heard and from what I've seen, I've seen nothing but great things. Now, if it's on a level of stats, not quite sure, but I'm definitely gonna find out come Friday. That's for sure.
Mm-mm. I'll tell you what, y'all just better make sure y'all get to them damn fields on Saturday morning. So let me ask you a question. I'm 40, right?
Right.
I could play over or under.
You can play either or
Don't say both.
you can play both.
Why would y'all do that to 40-year-olds, man?
I
I ain't
mean,
built for that.
I mean, because it's the year 40, man. You know what I'm saying? You hold the ultimate decisions as to how much or how little you want to play.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
you're
If you want
40,
to
if you're 40,
guarantee you coming home with something, you know what I'm saying? You can play in both. But one thing that's not going to happen is the schedule ain't going to dictate so you can attend and play in all the games. That's going to be between you and your
yeah,
coach and your teammates
yeah, that schedule, they're not gonna cater. We're not gonna cater that schedule to us both, right?
at all, at
Yeah.
all. And then I also want to announce too, after Austin, our first tournament of the year is going to be Midnight Madness back at the St. James, January 31st, and we've already met our max of intermediate teams. We already at 8. Um,
Mm.
so if you're still interested in trying to play or put a team in, you can go ahead and put a team in because the magic number is 16. It's either going to be 8 intermediate or 8 and 8 advanced. But if the advance or one of them looking kind of shaky, then we'll add some more intermediate teams so we can get to that magic number of 16.
And look, man, I played in
So
that shit last year. That shit was like that.
yeah,
But you know what the biggest thing about that was after that? I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things that came out of me playing in Midnight Madness. And man, you may think I'm lying, man.
you probably are. But go ahead.
I'm telling the truth. So I played Midnight Madness, right? Boom, cool. A few tournaments later, I get a tap on the shoulder. Young lady, you know, say to me, "I didn't know you get down like that on the field."
Okay.
Listen, listen. I didn't know you get down like that on the field. I'd love for you to consider coming and playing for my team anytime you decide to get out there on the field again. You want to know who the young lady was?
I already know who it was, but I'll let you tell the people.
All I'm saying is that I may not have gotten an invite to play Run with the Boot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna put anything else out there. But I may or may have not have been recruited by Miss Jackie and the Boot. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna just let y'all know. You know, she saw me play 2 plays and saw and knew already in her mind he's a missing piece to making us a dynasty.
Are they already not a dynasty or not yet? It was too soon because it's definitely in the
Oh,
making of being on the way.
I definitely think you know, um, I think they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if they're not, then what more would you have to do?
Right.
I feel like any other team, if we're going back to other years and we look at teams that we consider dynasties, what did other dynasties in a single year do that they haven't?
Right.
In terms of winning multiple championships, dominating. Yeah, you may not win every single tournament, but if you're talking about the team that has won the most tournaments for the year, 3 and 4, and things like that, wouldn't
They
we
definitely
consider other teams? You know what I'm saying? Like,
if
wouldn't we consider that for other teams?
if nothing else, they definitely took home the most money.
Took home the most money, took home the most bread. And so, if we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at the glory days, or we're gonna look at the good old days, or we're gonna look at any of these other times, and we're gonna say, "Oh yeah, this team was a dynasty." Okay, well, what did that team do to establish themselves as dynasty in that year? Because I'm pretty sure whatever it was that they did, Vu did the same thing. And so, you know, what I can say is that if you don't consider them a dynasty today, based off of what they did, 2 years from now, when we're looking back on it, they'll be like, "Man, yeah, Vu was a dynasty, man. Back then,
Yeah.
Vu was a dynasty, man. Give them their flowers. Give them their flowers, man. They're a dynasty. Give them their flowers. You know, they've been balling, man, and it ain't just this year. They've been balling for the last 2.5 years, really. And I remember when we did, I think, Charlotte 2021, and they won the Legacy Men's. You remember that? Vu
Yeah.
Kids,
Yeah.
you remember that? And that was like a
That
big
was that
thing
was
because I
that
think
was that in Richmond? That was in Richmond,
there's
wasn't
a
it?
Char- there's a Charlotte. There's a
Charlotte.
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 There's a Charlotte, man. And so we were looking at it, and it was like we was like was like, oh, me for the first time, I was like, who are these kids? You know, and I think they were, they had a combination. They had some young and some seasoned players on their team, but yeah, man, I definitely think if I had to if it was a yes no, and you can't, no gray area, you can't tiptoe and dance around the question. Yes, they're a dynasty. Yes, to me they are. You also want to know who else was a dynasty?
Mambas.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to.
Yeah. I mean, he was going to say it anyway, so I might as well, you know what I'm saying, took the air out the balloon,
Hey,
you know.
look. But if you're talking about a team that dominated for a period of time, where it didn't matter who stepped on the field with them in that area, you gotta call us a dynasty. It was a dynasty too.
Okay.
It was a dynasty. Man. It was a dynasty. All right. So I like what you did though, man. I like what you did. You started to kind of dive a little bit into 2026, right? You
Jump,
started
jump,
to kind
jump.
of you didn't just jump straight in. You kind of tiptoed into 2026 a little bit. We talked a little bit about January and what the Call of the Elite's going to look like. Let's talk a little bit more about that because it's more than just kickball. What else?
We're going to be doing we're going to do the 3-point shootout again. We're implementing pickleball this year, and we're definitely bringing the cornhole back for sure.
Now that pickleball, I'm like that.
I mean, that's what they say,
Listen,
but we'll see.
they call me on that pickleball court. They call me Mr. Tickle Pickle,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, when I get on that, you know what?
That boy say anything, man.
Wait a minute.
That boy
Nah, I'm
say
like that. I'm like that on that pickleball court though. I'm like that on that pickleball court. But I play ping pong. I do tennis. It's just a combination between both of them.
combination of the two.
Yeah, it's a combination of the two. But okay, so y'all got pickleball. What made y'all decide to incorporate pickleball in addition to the kickball, the basketball, and the cornhole? And how is all of that going to work?
We're just trying to just trying to reach out to a different audience. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to a different audience um, to possibly see if we can bring some more people into some brand new fresh blood into kickball. Give them a chance to come out there and see what it looks like, and maybe they want to take part, and vice versa. It might be some people that play kickball who might be interested in playing pickleball. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna be networking all the way across, man. You sometimes you just have to do and try out different things, man, to try to grow the sport that you love anyway. So, what better way to do it but to incorporate different sports all up under the one umbrella, all up under the same roof, and let everybody, you know what I'm saying, check each other's sport out.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's smart. Um, you know, before you know it, y'all gonna be in that thing having whole lacrosse tournaments too.
Hey,
You know,
no, we probably won't do lacrosse because that's going to take up the field house. However, might be able to add that
volleyball,
hockey. Might be able to add that
volleyball,
hockey in it.
volleyball. You got to do volleyball. You remember when me and you was in
No,
Auburn, how we was dominating, man?
you suck. But volleyball. I mean, there is
Whoa,
a
whoa, 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 whoa.
there
Time
is
out,
a
time out,
need
time
for
out.
volleyball
Time
too.
out.
I seen it.
Time out. Time out, man.
No, bro, you suck.
Time out. Me and you wasn't out there dominating in volleyball?
Nah, the women carried us. I ain't even gonna hold you,
Man, nah, man. I carried us.
man.
Women carried.
You was all over the goddamn. I'm about to say the field. You was all over the court, man, in everybody's way. I ain't never been yelled at. I ain't never been yelled at by my teammates as bad as I did in volleyball. That shit was just fun. That shit was crazy.
Oh shit.
That shit was
Oh
just
my
fun.
god. Oh my god. But we won some games though, didn't we?
We
We
did.
won a game.
We
Yeah, we won
did.
a game.
We
So
won a couple. We didn't win the best
yeah,
of three,
we didn't win the
but we
best of
did.
three.
We did on that third game. We did take them all the way though. We didn't take them all the way to, it could have went either way. We just didn't execute at the end like we were supposed to. That's all.
I agree. And see, for me, now that I think about that, I want more of our meet and greet experiences to channel more of that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like that to me was, uh, I think about some of the best. We also need to have a conversation about some of the best meet and greets too. I think we should talk about that, right? But
Man,
for
we already
me,
know what that is, but okay.
yeah, I think that like for me that like that was one of my more memorable meet and greets because just having fun. But that said, okay, what was your favorite meet and greet? Your favorite meet and greet?
I mean, this year or
Okay, no, all time. Let's say your top three. Give me your top three meet and greets all time. Your top three right now,
uh,
all time.
I would say MGM on that first Friday in DC, and then I would say I would have to bring it back to legacy. I would have to say Stats. The first year we did it, and Sammy was performing, and then the third one, I would have to say uh, another other time when it was in Charlotte, and it was at what's your man name? Your man name what's the dude? What's the dude name, man?
Cool.
From the Housewives, the dude
Oh, Peter. Oh, you talking
Peter.
about Sports One?
Yeah,
You like Sports One? You thought Sports One was like that?
man, I thought Sports One was dope. I mean, it didn't have no air conditioning, but I thought it was
Yeah,
dope
yeah,
though.
yeah. Sports One. Yeah. Sports One. Okay. Man, yeah. Okay, so if I had to say, I'm gonna throw in an honorable mention though. My honorable mention is that first year legacy year one in Charleston. That first year y'all was in Charleston, South Carolina. That year
Man,
one.
that shit, man, we shut that shit down. Yeah, yeah,
That
no,
that
you're right. Yeah,
that that that
that
was
was
that
dope.
was that was one. That was dope. I would say for me, Spin DC, our first year in DC, that motherfucker right there. That one might be my favorite one. Um, I would say definitely MGM. MGM was just dope from so many different aspects, but I think like that was for us, that was like what a meet and greet should look like. You had 200 something people there. We had the entire outdoor space. We had the food. We had the music. It was the first Friday. We had the casino. It's like we checked all the boxes with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
some of them did get. They got a few of them got dressed up, got grown and sexy with it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it came out actually looking like somebody. And then the third one, this is really my fourth one, but the third one, I'm gonna say Charlotte last year when we was at Slingshot, and that's when we came out, we pulled up, we had all those teams out there, but all them Houston players came out there with the cowboy boots, the cowboy hats. They came out like 30 deep, and they gave me my own custom H Town jersey, and it was just a whole vibe in there. So I'm gonna have to say Slingshot last year was definitely like that.
Hey, but
So those are some of my top meet and
you
greets.
forgetting one though. You forgetting
What's
one,
that?
and this might trump one of the ones we mentioned.
Oh, I know. But it's not a meet and greet. But go ahead.
It was a meet and greet. I'm talking about Savannah after we left the ESPN and we drove down to Savannah that Friday.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Saturday night because you remember that set. Did you go out Saturday night? You didn't come out
I
Saturday
didn't
night.
make it out Saturday night.
Saturday night might have been better than Friday night.
I know, but
Saturday,
that shit is up there though.
yeah. So that Savannah for sure is always gonna hold a special place in my heart because that was, and I talk about it a lot. Like like I'm the type of person where like me personally, this is me. Just like can I be vulnerable for a minute on the podcast? Would that
Man,
be
might as well.
vulnerable? All right, man. I'm gonna open.
You cry any other time.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna so I'm gonna open up. Pause. Um.
Spread eagle.
it- so so I've never really, I personally growing up in my life, I've never really like felt what it felt like to be celebrated, right? Like I grew up in a big family. Um, I'm one of the younger siblings, right? So like when it gets when it's my turn like to be celebrated, it's kind of like, well, we've been celebrating it, right? Like yeah, like you're graduating from high school, shit, your brothers did that 4 or 5 times before you, right? Like so it's like, well, fuck. And so there's that, right? Like my college, I didn't even attend my college graduation, right? Like, and so for me, like I never really knew what it felt like to be celebrated.
Right.
To be honest with you, I just never really knew what that felt like. And so you talk about Savannah, and that was the first year that we successfully debuted the not even turf wars, but kickball in its entirety on ESPN's platform. We successfully debuted it, and then we go down to Savannah, and I still remember this. Like the meet and greet started at whatever time it did, and I'm at the hotel. I'm getting dressed and getting changed, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, man, the meet and greet started at this time, and we're late. We're not even on time. Such, yada yada yada. And I finally get to Savannah. I mean, get to the meet and greet in Savannah, and it's a two level. It's two levels.
Yeah.
So when I walk in, the entire bottom level is empty. And I'm like, oh fuck, man, I done came so late. Everybody left. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, everybody left. I ain't gonna, get a chance to see nobody. I'm like, man, shit, fuck it. I'm go upstairs to see who else is up there. Man, I walk up the steps, man, and that shit is packed from wall to wall. And as soon as I made it to the top step, man, they got a whole standing ovation. And I'm
Yeah.
looking around and I'm seeing everybody just clapping and cheering. And it was like an out of body experience because I was like, who y'all clapping for? I'm
Right.
turning
Right.
around
Right.
thinking,
Right. Right.
somebody behind me, but they celebrating, they clapping and they cheering because of what we were able as a community
As a
to
community.
accomplish that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, that was the first time in my life where I felt like, I felt what it felt like to be celebrated. I was like, oh shit, this is dope.
Yeah. Because I
And
think
so
I
yeah,
think I had got there before you, but I had walked up the
yeah,
steps with you.
yeah, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah. And I
yep.
was
You
and
came up
I was
there,
the same
yeah.
way. I was like, I was like,
Yep.
I was like,
Oh, they
I
celebrating
was
us.
like,
Yeah,
I was like, what happened? Something
yeah,
happened? What's going on? Is it somebody's birthday or some shit?
yeah. And I mean, it was just
And
like a
then it
standing
took a second
ovation.
to realize what it was for. And then once you realized what it was for, you was like, it was like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy, So like, and I can't even take full credit because yeah, you was walking up the steps with us. So us, you and I, because we did that together though, right? But like, to just be embraced like that by the community. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in that moment, it seems like it was like understood what we accomplished for a brief, however long they were clapping. It could have been 4.5 seconds. I don't know. But for however long they were clapping, in that moment, everybody understood what the fuck had just happened.
Yeah.
What we accomplished as a community. And it was dope. And so right after that, I can't tell you how many drinks I had to turn down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, y'all do realize I gotta be at these fields tomorrow before y'all do. No, I'm straight. But like, I probably turned down 100 drinks. You know, but that definitely is Savannah. So I can't even put Savannah's in a bucket of its own. Man.
Yeah.
Savannah's
You're right. You're right.
Savannah's in it's in the league. So
No, but the spot, not only did that happen, but the spot was dope. It was on the Riverwalk.
hmm yeah,
It was, and they had like, outside of that one, they had, what I'm saying, different clubs people could bar hop and walk up and down to. It was just a perfect location. It was a perfect location. It was a perfect, and it was a great experience too.
it was a great experience, man. And then
Yeah.
what's crazy about it is that Saturday, and we don't really even turn up like that on Saturday, to be honest with you. But that Saturday,
That
we
man
ended up
was a whole groupie.
man, I was on stage. I had the microphone. I think Eli came on stage. We had the championship teams in there. Like we had locals in there. Like, and I remember we was in there, and the DJ kept telling me he was like, "All right, I'm gonna do one more song." I was like, "All right, one more song." And he told me, man, maybe about 10 o'clock. He's like, "All right, that's the last one." I was like, "All right," and I'm making an announcement on the mic. I'm like, "This is the last song." And then next thing I know, I turn around, look at him. He was like, "Yo, this is the last one." I look down at my watch. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, "All right, last one." And we were just going the whole night. And then the next morning, I woke up. I lost my voice. I didn't even have my voice. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that was the most memorable Saturday. I can't say that was a meet and greet, but and I was trying to get you to come out. I was like, "Man, you gotta come. You gotta
I
come."
know.
You didn't come. And I was like, "Man, that shit was tough. I like that shit." But I think for us, like 2026 is really going to be like more of a intentional effort to really kind of make meet and greets great again. Because right now, I've been very disappointed with what the Turf Wars meet and greet experience has been for 2025. It's to me, in my opinion, it's been very bland.
Yeah,
And we have such an amazing and dope, fun-loving community that deserves more than what we've given them in terms of the meet and greet experience. Now, what I will say is, we've given you some dope venues. We've given you um, you know, um, um, some dope cities, but I think we've dropped the ball on just the experience. You know, holistically, I think you've had certain destinations like that has had good meet and greets, like Vegas. I think Vegas was cool. Vegas, we had the little pool party, and
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think Vegas was cool. I think Auburn was cool. But then you had destinations like Gatlinburg that was weak. Um, you know, what did we do in Tampa?
Well,
Tampa was
with Gatlinburg being as though with Gatlinburg is because
yeah,
I feel they have those cabins and those teams spend all that money for them cabins. They want to actually
that's
be
true.
there to enjoy the cabin
That's true. That's
because they're
true.
gonna be
And
out.
yeah,
They're gonna be at the field all day on Saturday.
that's true.
They're gonna be at the field all day on Sunday. So what's the point of having that nice ass cabin and you're not gonna be in it? But yeah,
This
I think
this is
that
true.
probably takes away from that because
This is true.
everything that they're gonna do at a meet and greet, they can have at that fucking cabin, the same
This
shit.
is true.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
is true. And to make matters worse, it rained that entire Friday in Gatlinburg. So even if you even thought about stepping out your cabin, that rain was like, "Nah, I'm chilling." Okay,
Yeah,
so let me go through it. So our first event of the year was Tampa. Tampa was cool because we did the putt place and we had the ping pong. That's when you got beat by the little 10-year-old kid. So that was cool.
that was in
Um,
Tampa. No,
that was in Tampa. That was Battle of the States. That was Tampa.
that was Tampa.
That's Tampa. The next one after Tampa, what was after Tampa? After Tampa was um,
After
Gatlinburg.
Tampa was Gatlinburg. It was
Um,
Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, right?
Yeah,
Gatlinburg. That was kind of but like you said, the cabins. And then after Gatlinburg, we did Auburn. Auburn
Auburn,
was the with the
Tiger,
Tiger
whatever.
Town with the
Tiger
with the
Town.
with the beach volleyball. So that was cool. Um, then after Tiger Town, Auburn, that was May. We went to Vegas. Vegas was a pool party. Pool
Yeah,
party was cool. It was straight. After pool party, we went to Maryland. Maryland was on ESPN. 1st of July. We went to Maryland Live
Maryland Live.
Casino. That was terrible. All right, that was horrendous. Um, I mean, for multiple reasons. Number one is they didn't allow us to have our DJ. Not having the music really took away from our ability to keep people entertained and in
Yeah,
one place, right? So
because
it
they
was
had other options.
that other option. So
Yeah.
that was terrible, man. That was the Maryland Live Casino. I wish I had two more hands to give it four thumbs down. Um, you know, then after that was Orlando, right?
Orlando.
Orlando, we did a little spot. We did. I think it was the live. It was live in Maryland at their little downtown spot. That was to me that was okay. It started off very dry, and then towards the end of the night, um, towards the end of the night, it started to pick up, and so that was cool. But wasn't anything to go crazy over. Charlotte meet and greet, which was in Labor Day weekend, that might have been the worst one of the year. It was at the best venue, but it might have been the worst meet and greet of the year because it wasn't any engagement. It wasn't interact. I mean, it was just none of that. And everybody came out looking nice, having a good time. But no, like again, it just wasn't one that was here to remember. And so I didn't like the Charlotte meet and greet at all.
Well, I'm
Um,
telling you right now, if it's in Charlotte, then people going to stats, man. They don't give a fuck what you got
your
going on.
people going to stats.
Nah,
Your
listen,
people going to stats, man.
they went to stats in Kannapolis. They left Kannapolis and went to stats. I mean,
That's
it just is what it is, man. Once we gave them that little taste, it's a wrap. Unless
yeah.
something else come across. But if they come back to Charlotte, they gonna spread the word. They going back. They going back.
Yeah. Okay. So now we talked a little bit about meet and greet. So and I mean I didn't get through the full list, but we talked a little bit about that. Any previews or sneak peeks that you want to give for 2026? I know you hinted at one of them. Is there any spoilers you want to give for 2026?
Nah, I mean, we already got that out the way, man. It's Midnight Madness, January 31st. We are still looking to finalize our calendar. I think we have it finalized, but not enough to put anything out yet. But we definitely had to get the jump start on announcing and promoting Midnight Madness, just because it's like not no normal tournament, because we have to end the registration almost 2 weeks earlier to ensure that people get their jerseys and uniforms and things of that nature. So, we had to get a jump start on that. And then as of yesterday, I think we might have had maybe, I don't know, 25, 30 people that took part in the paying for, like the Klarna. You know what I'm saying? Where you only had to pay, you could have locked in your registration rate as of yesterday at midnight, $20. You know what I'm saying? The registration was $80. So, $20 this month, $20 next month, and $20 by January 15th. And, you paid for it. And it's not breaking the bank each month. So we try to come up with different ways, because we do understand registration for the price for some people may be a thing. So we try to come up with different ways, where you don't feel that big dropping in the whole 80 or the whole 100 at one time. But we can lead you to water, but we can't make you drink. All we can do is provide different opportunities and different ways for you to, what I'm saying, not feel that financial crunch. But we still, give you opportunity to do so. So a lot of people take part, a lot don't. But I guess that's still gonna be on us to try to keep driving that forward. But that's the only one that we're gonna do that paying full for, is for as of right now, and that's gonna be for that right there.
I think as long as you give them the option, then that's all you could do. Like the option to paying for is there, and you did your part. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did your part. And like you said, you could lead them to water, but you can't make them drink it.
Yeah,
Um, and so like I think that's an amazing thing. Really being able to provide these players with an opportunity to still um, partake in these events, um, but do it in a budget friendly manner. Because let's be honest, if we could break some of those payments down, or split them up a little bit, and lighten the blow. I think a lot of people would prefer to do it that way. And so um, giving them that option is certainly something that I think is one that you'll benefit from. And yeah, again, just giving them that option. You did your part, did your job.
well, anything else? Because I still got to go pack, man.
Um, no, I really don't have anything else, man. It's just a quick podcast. I mean, we got 2026 that we're working on. Um, we have a lot of amazing things in the pipeline for what we plan to introduce and do for next year. Um, like I said, 2020, 2026. I believe that's our coming out year, man. I say it all the time, every year, right? I'll be like, oh yeah, this year is gonna be our year. I think 2026 is gonna be our year, man. To really kind of break through another stratosphere. Um, there are a lot of things that's gonna be um, changing with the brand. Um, I think there's going to be a lot of enhancements to the brand. I think there's going to be a lot of growth with the brand. and I'm just excited to really kind of just reveal a lot of what we have in the pipeline for next year. I think it's gonna be amazing. One of the things that I always say, GP, is like I always say it, man. Like to those people that you know are locked in with the brand, locked in with our organization. Obviously, we want to continue to give you a reason um, to remain locked in with us and to navigate this journey with us in 2026. And for those that are not locked in with the brand, that are you know not really aligned with us, I would just say, look, we thank you for traveling with us up to this point. You know what I'm saying? Like and riding with us until we got to this point, and that this is your stop. you know I hope you enjoyed the ride along the way, but the train got to keep going. And that's our focus, man. And I really think 2026 is going to be a year where we kind of accelerate a little bit. I really do. I really, really do.
All right then, man, big dog. Like I said, man, I got to get in here and pack. And unfortunately, this is probably the first tournament that I won't see you at, but we'll be there in spirit. Because I'm not. When I get back, I'm not driving down to Richmond. So you know, but I'll be
Well,
in touch.
good, because then I don't gotta worry about nobody trying to dress like me while I'm out there. I'm glad too, boy. I'm glad too, because I got some shit. I got me a whole fit. Yeah, I'm good. Now I'm good. Yeah, hell yeah, man. But nah, man. Safe travels up to Kansas City, man. You know, looking forward to an amazing weekend. Obviously, I'm sure we'll be connected all throughout the weekend, and
Right.
get yourself packed, and yeah, we're gonna put together a good show, man.
All right, big dog, man. Safe travels
All
to
right,
everybody, man. Have a good, safe, and competitive weekend. And we'll see y'all on the podcast next week.
all right, man. Take it easy.
All right, big dog.